Hey Rob, how are you?
I'm very well, Joe. Nice
Good
to see you.
I'd like to introduce everyone. Rob Cooksey, founder of Ascot Cases. Back in 1981, he had a dream and turned it into one of the finest quality case products in the world. And we've got Rob here with us today to have a little discussion about how the Ascot cases are manufactured, what makes them unique in the industry, and why the touring industry especially is very much in tune with what Rob has been making and the variations of case styles that we do build here at the Anvil facility in the Ascot brand. So with that, Rob, how are you today?
I'm very well. Thanks, Joe.
1981, huh?
That was it. It was when I decided to get out of the entertainment business. I've been on the road pretty much since I was 18 years old. Initially just as a roadie, doing the gear, stuff like that. And over the years held quite a lot of positions: tour manager, production manager, sound man, lighting man, just about everything you can think of. And then got to an age where I had two boys, and they thought Daddy lived at LAX, you know, drop me off, pick me up, and I thought it was time for a career change. I was also getting fairly fed up with the way the industry was in those days, very drug orientated and destructive, which it isn't so much these days. It's really changed, you know. But so I started looking around, and I was asked by a friend of mine who had a company called Tasco at the time, sound company, if he thought I was up to making a PA system, having expressed myself earlier at having said that woodworking was one of my finest hobbies, and how good I thought I was from school and blah blah blah. And he produced the plans and bought some machinery, put it into his facility. That was Tasco, and I started making his large PA systems. And in those days they were large. You remember the big bass bins, you know, you could walk into them and stuff like that?
Oh, they were big and heavy. What plywood material? What thickness was the material you were using?
Generally speaking, all 3/4 inch and 1 inch Baltic birch plywood. Yeah, absolutely. And then he said, well, having done that, we need some cases. Do you think you'd make a case? And I said, I've never made a case in my life, but I was very aware of what they looked like, having been in the business for so many years, and also the things about cases that roadies and road people don't like, you know. So I started doing some research, found some case components from somebody you know very well, Donny Sessions, in those days, and just developed a technique. I thought, how can I make this strong, rather than just putting bits of wood together with angle around the edge and stuff like that. And in the past, while I've been making furniture, basically you could make a really strong box to start with by rabbiting the edges, we call rabbiting, whereby one piece fits into a joint. So I was making a complete unit as a solid box, nailed and glued together, and then generally speaking it would be left overnight, and then in those days we would cut the handle holes from jigs with handheld routers, you know, for catches, handles, stuff like that. And after 2 or 3 years, Penn Fabrications appeared on the scene, in as much that they were doing the NAMM show and thinking of moving to the United States. And I became friends with Frank McCourt, who you know. And from then on, I had access to all the corners, the catches, all the things that we need on a day-by-day basis, instead of having to order them months and months in advance. I was also, as far as exterior quality was concerned, I had seen and been using something that was available in Europe at the time. It's been developed by CP Cases, which you've probably heard of in England.
Yeah, they've been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
CP, one of the finest brands in Europe.
Yeah, and Chris, who is a friend of mine, I called him and said, where the hell did you get this brown diamond, which it was then, which was only made in Sweden, I think, at the time. but it's a hardcore Baltic birch with a phenolic resin on it in a diamond pattern on one side, and you know that it became the Ascot trademark. It took me about nearly a year to source it through a company in Los Angeles that specialised in imports of that type. I got them a sample, which they said they'd never seen, and then they called me several months later and said, you know what, I've got another sample on my desk, you know, somebody's trying to sell it to us, do you want to order some? And I said, yeah, let's do it. Started off with 100 sheets, a minimum order, and then over the years I asked them if they would darken the colour, because it was a chocolate brown, and we got it to the point where it's almost black. But I was at that time the only case company in the United States that was making product out of that black diamond, or was even aware of it.
So you would say then that it was your guidance in regards to this product that had it evolve into to what it currently is now, which is a nice, what we call diamond birch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black diamond birch.
Yeah.
It looks really nice, and you know, prior to us working together, you know, having seen your product out in the field, of course, in many venues and such, always admired it, and tried our hand at it as well. And it's a very nice material. And,
yeah.
And not surprisingly, your customer base is very passionate about using that material more often than not.